Uh-huh. And it's happening. Hi, Polina. Good to see you. Hello, everybody. We're already rolling on YouTube. Wonderful. Hopefully you can hear me and you can see me. Also, I will need to launch TikTok in a couple seconds. Okay. All right. Hopefully everything is working. Fingers crossed. And now we go to TikTok. Oh, multitasking. Hello, Karen. Hello. Hi, guys. How are you doing? How are we feeling today? And hello, William. Hello to you too. How are we feeling today? Let me know. Okay. I think I have launched both lives, which is wonderful. All okay. Perfect. I'm very happy to hear that. Hi, Carolyn, and hi, Tim. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Chelsea. Thank you for joining us. Hello, everyone on TikTok, too. Hi, Suzanne. Hello. How are you doing? Let me know. Hello, Vindictus. Oh no. Hopefully it will be perfect soon, okay? I'm fine, I think. As good as one can be, given the circumstances. I've been just following the absolute whirlwind of all of the updates. Hi, Josh. Regarding the Trump, Zelensky, Putin, all of these meetings, and there's so much information. Every single moment of our existence, there's more. And yeah, you just don't know what to make of it. So we're just gonna try and make sense of all of this together. Hi, good to see you too. Hello. Yeah, a lot of things are happening, everybody. This entire thing, the entire oh boy, that meeting. Yeah, everything is full of that. We're getting more and more deets with every single minute. In fact, too many deets, if you ask me. Most of the articles I have pulled, they all have to do with that, with the upcoming Trump-Putin meeting that everybody cares a lot about. Interestingly enough, remember how last time, one of those days, we were talking about the suspicious visit of Trump envoy Keith Kellogg to Lukashenko, to Belarus, right? And how we never really learned what was the actual purpose of that visit. And we were speculating, could that have to do with the perhaps with the talks, or maybe with the upcoming exercises on the Belarusian territory, the joint Russian-Belarusian military exercises. Apparently that had to do with trying to set up the Trump-Putin conversation, as Lukashenko bragged to Time. He gave this interview to Time. If you're interested, you can check it out. It's on time.com. So yeah, it's all been in the making for a while now. Hi, Direwolf, good to see you. I know. Hi, Loris, good to see you. Long time no see. Привет, Yaroslava. Hello, everybody. We're also live on YouTube, just a reminder. If you'd like to see Lukashenko, if you'd like to see Steve Witkoff and the cheburek that he ate in Russia and loved very, very much, yes. Russian news are currently going nuts, apparently, about the fact that Steve Witkoff loved a cheburek when he was in Moscow. Alright, so if you want to see that, you can hop onto YouTube. It's linked in the bio, as always. What is this timeline even, right? What is this? What is happening? How come are we discussing a cheburek that someone ate? But yes, this is now. Thank you, Bram, for all the likes. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for liking the live and interacting with it and sharing and stuff. Apparently it boosts it. I don't know. TikTok keeps telling me that it's boosting it. We're yet to find out whether or not that's actually the case. Hi, Dave. Hello. good to see you. Yeah, we're just warming up, but we have already started talking about Lukashenko and the rest of the horrible creatures. It's just no end to this insight. But I mean, ideally, this upcoming meeting between Trump and Putin that apparently Lukashenko set up and planned himself, I wonder if he decorated the place of meeting too, that could lead us somewhere, right? So ideally, if we're lucky, are we lucky? I really doubt it. But if we are, this meeting might lead us to either a truce of sorts, or perhaps a ceasefire, or perhaps something. But honestly, knowing our luck, it could, it has much higher chances of leading us just into something really horrible. So, for instance, one of the Polish media outlets called Onet. Hi, thank you, Mirja. Good to see you. Thank you. Hello. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I appreciate it. So this Polish media outlet from a couple days ago reported on, this is not the outlet that I'm showing you, it's just the Ukrainian, thank you, Josh, thank you, it's the Ukrainian media outlet reporting on that, so apparently they have learned, as they claim, some of the proposal, Trump's proposal to Putin regarding this possible ceasefire. So just to give us an idea of what could this possibly be, although let's take it with a grain of salt, because there is obviously no clear source of information, but I've also heard other media outlets kind of repeating similar information. Anyway, so apparently they're talking about ceasefire. So this is what, according to this outlet, Trump is offering to Putin: a ceasefire, the recognition of the territory of the Russia-occupied territories of Ukraine, by postponing the matter for 49 or 99 years. So this is not going to be an outright, hey, we recognize these territories that you have occupied illegally against all of the international laws. We're just going to pretend like nothing is happening for the upcoming 49 to 99 years. Thank you, Prem. Which is, all right, okay, cool. At least, I guess, thank you for not recognizing them as Russian. Upright, so that's a good one. Hi Henry, good to see you. And also, this is the most worrying one. This is the one that worries me personally most. Canceling the majority of the sanctions that have been applied to Russia, and returning in the long run, returning to the energy cooperation, so purchasing of the Russian natural gas and oil, which directly contradicts everything. Hi Anne, good to see you, thank you. Directly contradicts everything that we have discussed in the last couple of days about all of the secondary tariffs on India and Modi and, going to China. Thank you, Anne. Thank you so much. So that directly contradicts everything that we have talked about. So hopefully this is just a rumor. At the same time, another part of this proposal is the fact that, so there are no guarantees of the NATO non-expansion, which is, thank you, Anne, which some of you might remember was a part of the goal, right, of the Russian goal that they have declared, right, Ukraine must never be a part of NATO. And also, another good thing, there were no promises regarding stopping the military aid to Ukraine, so... Anyway, this is just a rumor, but when you're hearing stuff like this, when you're hearing information like this, it kind of immediately becomes much more apparent why would the Russians even, entertain this idea. Because, when you hear about the... Hi, TJ, good to see you. Yeah, I mean, we could only wish that Lukashenko would meet with Ozempic, right? No, he clearly looks like he is taking something, but that has the opposite effect of Ozempic. Nothing will happen from the meeting, another delay, or maybe this time Trump will bend over harder for Putin. This is another possibility, right? So we're going to look at all of the possibilities. For all of the scenarios we're going to discuss, as we do, This is definitely one of the options. Let me see what the chat on TikTok is saying. Watching from the Missouri. That sounds nice. I do not know much about Missouri. I've only heard about it in the movies. In the Gone Girl movie, Ben Affleck's character, I think, was from Missouri. And also in that show called Modern Family, which I really like. Cam was from Missouri. So that's it. That's as far as my knowledge regarding the topic goes. Do you think Ukraine could help us out and take out the Putin-Trump meeting? If I understood you correctly, I don't think this is something that we should do, because various implications here. Yeah, I'm here and I'm live usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern European Summer Time. So you could always join us if you want. We're discussing things. It's all nice and chill. We're also live on YouTube looking at Putin currently. How fun is that? India couldn't care less. Well, it's hard to say. By the first look, last time we were discussing, remember that Modi even decided to go visit China for the first time in 7 years. So that clearly meant something, although it was more about sending the signals and not necessarily taking some outright measures. One of the one of the sides that is conspicuously missing in all of this is the Europeans. So the Washington Post pointed that out, that that's chewy, everybody. The European Union is surprisingly missing from the entire conversation, which is, yet another weird gesture from Trump. That's chewy again. Guess who's not missing from this conversation? She has been so emotional recently. I'm honestly worried about it. Yep, that's exactly her. Thank you, Josh. This is so much like her. Yep. Only we need to add more rage. If the expression was not, cute and pious, but more, I'm gonna murder your entire family, then that would be chewy, alright? Watching from Rhode Island. What do we know? Yeah, the raccoon one. Yes, this is also very close. Like a rabid raccoon. That also works. What do I know about Rhode Island? I don't think I know anything about Rhode Island. Now that Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Johnny. I should educate myself. Watching from Saskatchewan, Canada. I heard the name, but I do not think... Hi Zoe, good to see you. I do not think I know any trivia about that place, although I really like the name. That's a really cool name. Oh boy. So yeah, the Europeans were not invited to the table, which is... Alright, okay. Disappointing, yes. Surprising, not really, because we already know how Trump is regarding the Europeans, and I almost called them Trutin. Trump and Putin. Trutin, everybody. The day has finally come. They have merged into one entity. And the name is Trutin. Alright, so Putin has also been, in the Kremlin, they've been also notoriously dismissive of the Europeans and trying to play it out as if the Europeans do not really matter in this conversation, which is not the case at all. Of course, we all know how much military aid the Europeans have provided, how much support, how present they have been in supporting Ukraine. So, and also how fundamental they were regarding the sanctions. So, and also they have, we've also talked about that before, that they have even more potential to be even more influential when it comes to applying pressure on Russia anyway. So, but yeah, just a regular, just the usual, just the typical completely tactless and classless treatment of the European Union on behalf of all these people. Another part of the conversation was whether or not Zelensky will be meeting with Putin, which I don't think they will. Of course, there have been a lot of these versions flying around, but no, I don't think they will. In fact, I'm really having doubts that Trump will be meeting with Putin either, unless they merge into Trutin and then... or maybe Prump. that also works. But yeah, so what the White House has been teasing, the weird Barbie lady, Caroline, what's her last name, Levitt, I think she said that what they are discussing is the possibility of Trump having a meeting with Zelensky and then having a meeting with Putin. And they cannot figure out where they want to meet, because apparently Trump offered to meet in Rome, but then the Kremlin was like, no, we can't really do Rome because they're gonna arrest Putin in Rome if he... Which is just an extra cherry on top when you remember that there is the arrest warrant for Putin from the International Court. So everything about this story is just a gift that keeps on giving. Put Trump, yeah, put Trump. We can do that. But yeah, of course, right? Exactly. There is a high possibility that Trump might not follow through on anything. So yeah, we will see. Kristen says it's not an island. Meaning the Rhode Island's not an island. Pennsylvania. The first time I've ever heard about Pennsylvania, you guys, was when I was reading Gone with the Wind. At the tender age of 12, do not ask me how come this happened. But yeah, this was the first American book I have ever read, because my aunt told me that this is an incredible book. And I will learn so much about history if I read that book. Okay, that's an entirely different conversation in itself. But there was a paragraph there about Pennsylvania and how the Confederates, they were prohibited from looting Pennsylvania according to the book, and how it made all of the wives and mothers back home really mad because our boys are hungry and they're starving and they do not have any boots or anything, and they're not allowed to loot this extremely lucrative Yankee state. Yeah, that was the first time I've ever heard of Pennsylvania. No, but since then, of course, I've heard more. Alabama. Don't hold it against. No, we're not. We're chill. Yeah, but I've heard some pretty bad stereotypes about Alabama. I'm not gonna say them out loud. What else I know? Forrest Gump from Greenbow, Alabama. Hippie Chick says, I loved your borscht video. Thank you so much. I loved making it. So it's up on YouTube channel, everybody. If you haven't seen it yet, please do. Please go see it. And yeah, we've had some good reviews. Please make a batch. Let us know if you liked it. There were already some people who made it, and they said it was good. So, Joe is asking, are the body snatchers hunting men where you live? So by that, I assume you mean our recruitment officers, by the body snatchers hunting men. I don't think you can call it hunting men and body snatchers, considering that this is totally legal. Although I understand how it looks and how it sounds, but yeah, wait until your country has the draft. But yeah, there have been instances, more and more clashes. I think we have mentioned this during the last live stream, that there's been more and more clashes between the recruitment officers and the people, because the disappointment and disapproval and anger, obviously fueled by the enemy propaganda, has been increasing in the last months. And we even had an instance in my region of a clash, actually, today. I think there was something in Volyn similar to that. We have more offers for a Trump-Putin hybrid. Trump-Putin. Trumpusha. Yeah, we can just call him something like that. Nevada. What do we know about Nevada? Is this where Vegas is? Las Vegas, right? Thank you, William. Thank you. Please make a borscht. If you do, let me know if you liked it. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you. Thank you so much. Epstein Island, says Susan. Susan, what are you trying to say? You're not from there, are you? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. The gold leaf in Rome is too distracting for Trump. Oh, no, I don't think this would be for his taste, honestly. I think he prefers the Temu stuff by the looks of it. But yeah. Oh, thank you, Charlie. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. I have a friend, says, sorry, I cannot read your name, who lives on the front lines. Oh, wow, where exactly? Thank you. Let us know which region, because we now have a lot of frontline regions. All right, everybody. So we're still staring at Putin and Witkoff, because today, yeah, it takes us a while to warm up. Borscht this weekend or early next week. Yay. Hey. Yeah, this is where Vegas is, though I'm like an 8-hour drive from there. Oh, wow. I keep forgetting how insane the distances are in the US. It's crazy. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. Wow. 8 hours. If I were to drive for 8 hours, where would I end up? Probably on the front lines, actually, if I were to drive within Ukraine. If I were to drive, I do not know how to drive, but if I did, and I were to drive towards the European Union, I would probably spend those 8 hours on the Polish border, because it's very intense these days, especially. Everyone's constantly driving back and forth, and it takes such a long time. Yeah, these two were Putaco is. We have so many options. North Dakota. Linda is from North Dakota. Do not know, unfortunately, anything about North Dakota, now that I think of it. I know there's also a South Dakota, but that's about it. I'm sorry. I have to learn more about my Dakotas. Alabama is where we relocated a bunch of Nazi rocket scientists after World War II. Jesus. All of them went to Alabama? Why Alabama? No, I mean, obviously, yeah, I heard some things, but it's just surprising that all of them went to Alabama, of all places. Okay. Sweet home Alabama, huh? I saw there is a rumor that Trump has an affair with... Oh, God, no. Not with Caroline. Come on. She's a married Christian woman. I've heard about that, but also, I don't know. It's because he spoke about her really weirdly, right? In the same way that he spoke about Ivanka before, which is super creepy. No, let's just pretend like this is not happening, please, just for our sanity. Okay, so while we're on the topic of everyone talking to each other and hopefully not having affairs with each other, Putin had a phone call with Xi. Look at them being all happy together. This was interesting to me because, so apparently immediately after, whatever the conversation was with the Americans, what the next thing Putin does, he calls China. He calls Xi. Hi, Furman, good to see you. And they're having a little talk about everything. And so apparently, this is according to the Russian state, as we like to call them, propaganda, as they like to call them, news, RIA Novosti. They're quoting the Chinese news. Thank you so much. Wait, we just received something on PayPal. Who did that? Thank you, Jason. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So what was I saying? Yeah, and the Russian news were quoting the Chinese news. So we have a very interesting inception of propaganda, but anyway. And they're quoting that, they're trying to quote Xi, claiming they're quoting Xi, apparently telling Putin that Beijing is welcoming the communication between Russia and the United States. Yeah, me when I lie, everybody. Okay. And what else did he say? Allegedly, Xi has also stated that there are no easy solutions for complicated questions. Wow, what a deep philosophy. But China will continue, right? Note that, continue to work towards peace and communication. How have you been working towards peace? That's the same people, mind you, who a couple of weeks ago have openly stated that it makes sense for them and it's good for them that the war in Ukraine continues, right? The Chinese foreign minister literally said that openly, which shocked me, because the Chinese diplomacy and the Chinese communication, it usually sounds like this, right? Thank you, Josh. Wow, that's a crown. Thank you. The Kremlin crown. Anyway, so wait, what was I saying? Once again, I get distracted easily these days, you guys, because all of the allergy medicine makes me really. Woo. Anyway, usually this is the type of communication we receive from China, right? This obscure, vague. There are no easy solutions, like stuff like that. The dramatic ancient Chinese music playing in the background, but that was very direct, and that was the first time they have ever admitted that the war in Ukraine is actually, it's good for them, it's in their interest, so now we're receiving the good old whatever, a bunch of mumbo jumbo from China. Anyway, Putin also talked to the president of Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. Okay, so the Central Asian KGB special, because at least the Kazakhstan's president, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, he is also an old, hardened KGB guy. He also talked to them. That doesn't matter. The China part was interesting. And of course, Lukashenko we've already talked about. But he also talked to Putin. But they've been spending a lot of time together recently. Remember, they were having this little getaway when was that? A week ago, right? When Putin was really small and Lukashenko was really big and they were hanging out on a bench somewhere. And it looked mildly pathetic. They also talked on the phone and offered Minsk as a place where Trump and Putin could potentially meet. Incredible. Just fascinating stuff. Let's see, how does Minsk look this time of the year? Minsk летом. I'm gonna look it up in Russian. Let's see. I think, that's pretty nice. They could meet right here on this little lawn. Where else could they meet? They could meet in this thing, whatever that is, I don't know. This little spheric, whatever that thing is. That could be fun for everybody. Can I get realistic images of Minsk and not the propaganda ones? No, this is not. Okay. No, I mean, it could be nice, I guess. Maybe here. Yeah, in this house. How about that? Wouldn't that be nice? I have to fly for 6 hours to get from one coast to another in the US, right? Yeah, it totally makes sense when you really think about it. But I think partially because, it's one country, I think, so this adds to this perception of, it's probably smaller, but also the maps tend to be distorted, right? They tend to be distorted and the sizes are usually not actually geographically correct. In many instances, something that I have learned, honestly, too late. I'm not proud to admit that I didn't really know how warped the world maps tend to be. My coworker is from Pokrovsk, and she was shocked I even knew where it was. Oh my God, from Pokrovsk, really? Oh, I really hope your coworker left already, because currently I think in Pokrovsk there's only 1,300 something people left. It used to be a city of 60,000 people, everybody. That's the Ukrainian city in Donetsk that is currently at the forefront of very horrible battle. The solutions may not be easy, but they are simple. Stop the war, ideally, right? Ideally. Wouldn't that be good if they did? But yeah, it was so weird to hear this type of rhetoric. Well, okay, this one, the solutions and the rhetoric, that was not, but the previous one. Thumbs up from China. Willem is in Detroit, Michigan. Oh, thank you, Cobra. Good to see you. What do I know about Detroit? You guys at least used to manufacture cars, or still manufacturing cars, right? I immediately think about cars when I think about Detroit. But yeah, I think that's the first thing that pops into my head. Today we're doing the everything I know about the United States of America, which is not a lot. And some of it is really, really weird knowledge. Okay, sorry, TikTok chat. Let me see. I'm driving from Phoenix to Hollywood, California tomorrow, and then to Vegas. This sounds like a movie to me. This sounds like something you could see in a, what was that movie? I forgot the name of the movie, but anyway, some sort of road trip movie or something like this. Something from a Kerouac novel, Yeah, here everything is fine. Don't worry about us. I'm still in the same place where we were. I'm still in Volyn. This is our region. To those of you on YouTube who need a reminder, this is where we are. The last couple of days have been really quiet here, but remember last time we talked about how, well, hopefully with all of this talk of the talks of the potential ceasefire, Putin meeting with Trump, maybe they will stop. Thank you, Vindela. Maybe they will stop launching all these drones, and no, they did not. It's just, there's less drones, but unfortunately stuff continues burning in other regions of Ukraine. There was an attack in Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, but we're still... Hi, Nick, good to see you. While we're still on the map, this is Dnipropetrovsk Oblast that has recently become, is on the verge of becoming a frontline oblast, and there were some horrible... So first it was yesterday, there were explosions from the drones in Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. You can see this is children's playground, and in the background there is something burning from the explosion from the drones. And also there were some horrifying, just massive fires. 4 people were injured. So unfortunately this stuff continues, everyone. So not everyone is as lucky as we are here. We are only this lucky because we're far away. If we were closer to them and they could reach us, then the situation would have been dramatically different, unfortunately. Wait, I had something else. Yes, there was also a strike. So we have been recently exchanging the strikes on the gas stations and oil depots. Last time we talked about the strikes that we have been conducting on the Russian oil depots, but of course they immediately mirrored them and they hit. Interestingly, this is the Azerbaijani one, and it's called Sokar. And it's in Odessa. This is their gas station in Odessa, but it belongs to this Azerbaijani company called Sokar. Remember how we talked about this recent escalation between Azerbaijan and Russia, right? With all of these arrests of high-profile thieves and also just random Azerbaijani citizens living in Russia, people from the diaspora living in Russia, and then Azerbaijan mirrored those arrests, and so there was this back and forth. So it was interesting to see that to the backdrop of that, we have seen an attack, clearly a coordinated, targeted attack. 5 Shahed drones deliberately targeted this particular gas station in Odessa. And you can see, of course, there was a massive fire. But as we have just discussed, those... Hi, Dave. Good to see you. Those attacks are mirrored. And there was another one from our side to the Russian side. So this is... This is Krasnodarsky Krai of Russia, so this is, I'm going to show you, I'm going to remind you where that is, but first we'll just look at the, yeah, you can see the fire, you can see something burning. It's not as dramatic as the one that we have seen in Odessa, or the one that we have looked at before a couple of days ago, but yeah, still. There was something burning. On this image, however, the situation looks significantly worse. If you look at this image, you can see that the explosion was pretty massive. So I don't know what that one was. The previous video. Fake news. All right, so this one, yeah, this one looks pretty big. Oh, William says, we still do. Ah, really? The 3 big USA car makers are still in Detroit. Okay, so I still know things. Yay, my knowledge hasn't let me down. That's my takeaway. Oh, home of Motown. Oh, yeah, really? Well, that's... Huh. Smoking... smoking accidents. Oh, yeah, that's a massive smoking accident. Okay, sorry everybody, as always, a little bit behind. What are your thoughts about Belarus situation? Lukashenko will not try to get re-elect. Yeah, so apparently, well, I mean, are we really surprised about anything that this guy might do at this point? My main concern regarding Belarus situation is only what's going to happen with the upcoming military trainings in Belarus. This is the only concern I'm currently having. As for, Lukashenko and whatever, I'm pretty sure he wants to have like a dynasty, that he plans to rule until the end of his days, and then he wants one of his sons, probably Kolya, to, become his little prince and heir apparent, I don't know, and yeah, I guess that's the plan. But then again, sometimes the way these people, and I use this word very liberally, the way they plan things, they not necessarily work out the way they want them to, so we will see. I unfortunately believe that, unfortunately hard to say, but I do not think that this is the end of the tale for Belarus, that it's just going to turn into some sort of, full dictatorship set in stone. No, I still think there is some wiggle room for change, and I have a lot of faith in the Belarusian people. Alright, so this is regarding the strikes, some of the strikes at least. There were more, but yeah, these are the ones on the Odessa region and on the Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, Dnipropetrovsk. So I'm gonna close this one. We also had a very interesting piece on the protecting the information and preparing for the war about the US Army soldier charged with attempting to share sensitive data on US tanks with Russia. Something that, as we know, has never happened before. Just kidding. Of course, we already had several instances of similar things happening. So at this point, I don't think anyone is surprised. It's just good that he was caught. Anyway, why do you think Trump gives Putin so many free passes? Well, there are many different theories, right? You already know some of the more dramatic ones, with many people believing that he actually works for Putin, or that he is connected with the Kremlin, or that there is some sort of compromising info that Kremlin has on him. So all of that. In this particular case, however, I don't know, it's really hard to make up your mind. I'm still waiting on some sort of concrete action, on something, to solidify my opinion one way or another. For now, it just looks like he doesn't really know what he's doing. There's been a lot of, very questionable actions. There's been a lot of back and forth. There's been a lot of weakness, unfortunately, shown. So yeah, at the very best, it's either confusion or perhaps incompetence. At the very worst, it could be malice. But we will have to see in the upcoming weeks, I think. Who knows? Who knows with these people? Do Ukrainians think of Zelensky? It depends. It depends on who you ask. You know me, I'm not a fan, but some people still like him very, very much. Some people don't. The recent polling suggested that he did see a dip in his ratings. understandably, especially after the thank you, Josh, after the literal attempt at dismantling the entire anti-corruption structure, institutions in Ukraine. So, you know, he still has a lot of supporters. Good to see you too, Sharon. How are you? How are you? Okay, I think some messages are not loading, but you know, this is what the TikTok chat does. How's the family? The family's doing good. Thank you for asking. Does your aunt still support Putin? So my aunt, the one who lives in Russia, she's a very interesting case. She recently she started telling us that she never actually supported him, which was like, and interesting update. I do not remember things this way, but sure, go off. So she's now more critical. So this is a very common trend among the people who support autocrats or fascists or any of these, awful types. The moment they show weakness, their fan base immediately turns away. They turn around and they start saying, okay, now he wasn't actually as good as we thought he was. He lied to us. He tricked us. Stuff like that. So this is not uncommon. In fact, I think it's even a well-studied, well-documented phenomenon. So I think this is what is happening. There was a phase during which she has rediscovered her Ukrainian ethnicity because she is technically, ethnically Ukrainian. And she started calling herself Ukrainian, then she stopped doing that. With these people, it's a process. But I don't really talk to her. My mom does, of course. That's her sister. For me, that's too much. This was the last drop. Anyway, enough with my aunt. I can talk about her forever. Because Trump craves Putin's approval and praise, sadly, probably he also has blackmail. Right, so this definitely could be something like that. There could be layers. So if you start digging through the entire Trump connection to the Kremlin, it goes all the way back to, I believe, the 80s. And there were all of these projects that he was considering undertaking, and that could be, of course, functioning as bribes potentially. And all of these buildings. He wanted to do a Trump Tower in Moscow, and it was there's a lot. There's a lot to this cake of awfulness. So let's just quickly discuss the situation. So the U.S. Army soldier who was charged with attempting to share sensitive data on U.S. Abrams tanks with Russia, 22-year-old, oh my God, it's just a baby, U.S. Army soldier in Texas who was arrested Wednesday and charged with attempting to send sensitive information about U.S. battle tanks to Russia, the Justice Department said in a news release. An active duty service member, everybody, who possessed a very high top secret clearance, offered assistance to Russia and sent technical information about the Abrams tank online in June. One good thing about this is that at least he didn't do it through a dating website by the looks of it. So I guess this is an improvement compared to what we have seen in the past. So no honeypots involved. Can we consider this growth? Who knows, but we can try. Lee, according to prosecutor, that's his name, stated online that the USA is not happy with me for trying to expose their weaknesses. Obviously, okay, and said at this point I'd even volunteer to assist the Russian Federation when I'm there in any way. The good thing here is that at least it was discovered now, right? That now that the USA is not actively in an open war with anyone, with Russia, say, for instance. But just imagine the number of these cases that could be revealed if something were to go down. Oof, just horrifying stuff. They're everywhere. We've discussed several cases, so you can only imagine how many more there are. the ones that are still unknown and that are still actively communicating with the Russians through dating websites or not. That dating website story really stuck with me. All right, now that was just a quick note. Why do I have? Okay, this is the Justice Department. It's their report on the situation. Oh well. And this is the tank in question. Hello from Georgia. Georgia is in the USA. Georgia, right? Not the Sakartvelo, I imagine. Again, most of my information on Georgia is unfortunately from Gone with the Wind, which was honestly, yeah, I could make an entire video talking about what happens when, you do not have an in-depth knowledge about a topic. Like, for instance, in my case, when I was 12 and didn't know much about the United States, I couldn't speak English back then, and the first book that I have ever read regarding anything that had to do with America was Gone with the Wind. Yeah, it did warp some of my perceptions, that's for sure. I hope you and your family stay safe. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Arthur. Really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Sorry, I'm a bit behind, I'm afraid. I will catch up, though. You know me. I know how it works. Yeah, my aunt is most definitely Gazprom lighting me. Yeah, that's for sure. I know her. I know that woman. She's a master manipulator. Well, of all the destruction of Ukraine, it looks like you have not suffered much. I have not indeed suffered much. So my home got occupied in 2014 and there was no massive resistance. The resistance that was in Crimea was immediately nipped in the bud. All of the people were just slaughtered. And the protests were obviously curbed because, of course they were. This is how Russia functions. And then after we left, here we only had limited number of shellings and missile strikes in our area because we are very close to Poland and we did everything in our power to get as far away from Russia as we could. So yeah, thankfully we have not suffered much. But yeah, I remember very vividly, and I've already mentioned that before, especially at the very beginning. I have some of my followers, when I went viral on TikTok, and it was just the beginning of the full-scale invasion, 2022, I have had people actively following me and actively waiting for something horrible to happen to me. Like discussing this, sending me messages, telling me, okay, so when is it gonna happen? When are they gonna bomb your house? When are you gonna lose your limbs? Stuff like this. Why are you safe? Yeah, I even had someone being like, yeah, I'm gonna unfollow you because like there is no distraction. But yeah, the reason why there is no mass destruction all across the country is because first and foremost we are a big country, and second of all we got to keep our air defense. This is very important. The first week, what the Russians tried to do, they tried to destroy our air defense capability. So our planes and our systems that are capable of intercepting the missiles and the systems that are capable of hitting the planes back, when they try to carpet bomb you. And that was the decisive thing. So yeah, anyway, I'm sorry to disappoint you for our kids. What an interesting name. But yeah. All right, Trump just wants the Nobel Peace Award. The Black Eyed Peas Award is the only thing that he should be getting in my book. Anyway. Oh God, they kept going. 4 our kids kept going. We have monetarily supported Ukraine enough. Zelensky had his chance to stop this. Hi Sammy, good to see you, thank you. He chose not to. There's a lot to unpack here. My favorite part is when the US foreign policy decisions that were made all the way back in the late 80s and the 90s and were made by your officials right? The Budapest Memorandum was signed by your officials in the 90s. I did not exist when it was signed. How these decisions that were made back then and were considered good, right? It was considered a good decision to take away our strategic bombers, for instance. It was considered a good decision to take away our nuclear weapons, for instance, and other neat little things. How years later, all of a sudden, is somehow my responsibility as a Ukrainian. Because you no longer like it for our kid's son. I don't know what to tell you. This is not how foreign policy works, right? The support that you have given us was much appreciated, and it allowed us to continue existing, and we were very grateful for that. However, this was not a support that was just done as a sort of casual act of charity, right? This was something that was done out of very clear rationale and understanding that this is done in your country's best interest. I know you don't think that. You probably think that Biden is a traitor and the Democrats want to destroy America. But no. The people who were making, by the way, this was not just the Democrats. The Republicans were also very much supportive of that. It was done to contain the threat on the territory of a non-NATO country and protect your European partners. We are not your European allies, right? We're not your allies. We are your partner at the very best, if we're being generous. In reality, I don't know what we are, honestly. But yeah, you have a lot of bases all across Europe, right? You know Europe, the continent of Europe, with many, many different countries, right? Like Norway is in Europe, for instance. Poland is in Europe. And also these three countries called the Baltics, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, you probably don't know what they are, but they're all in the NATO and they're all your allies. So if something goes boom in those countries, your people will have to fight for those countries. And the idea was to try and prevent this from happening, because Russia also has an aspiration to take those countries too. What do you know? I know, crazy how imperialism works. So that was the idea behind that. Because whenever your country acts, most of the times, it acts, not most of the times, I think all the time, it acts out of its interest, just like most of the countries do. This is called realpolitik, right? When it's the interest and benefit, Anyway, so yeah, Zelensky had his chance to stop this. I don't really know what you mean by that. You mean surrendering? I do not think for our kids you understand what occupation is and what it entails. I do not think you are aware that there were lists made by the Russians before. Hi, Maddie, good to see you. Sorry, I'm on a rant. I'm on a tangent. I will stop in a second. There were lists of the people who were supposed to be exterminated. The Russians had the lists of people they were going to kill. So it was our politicians, activists, military, our even I think artists and singers and all of these, people who work in culture. So I don't really understand what do you mean by having a chance to stop this, because surrendering is not stopping this. Stopping this is not invading another country. That would be an incredible idea on behalf of the Russian Federation, but they chose not to do this. And so our partners had to act on the commitments that they had made to us before and out of their interest in the situation. Anyway, I don't know why. What am I trying to do here? You're obviously not listening. You're probably gone by now. But yeah, this is why we are where we are. And honestly, for someone with kids, I would expect for you to understand that. But all right. Doge had a direct IP line to the Kremlin within hours. You know what? Considering how Musk's entire persona and everything about the man changed the moment he received a phone call from the Kremlin and talked to someone who claimed to be Putin. And we do not know actually whether or not it was Putin or not, but this is what they told Musk. And the moment that happened, that was it. He was starstruck. He was all about Russia and making peace with Russia and just making out with Putin on Maine. So are we really surprised? No. Honestly. And that's not even mentioning his connections with China. His connections with Russia, honestly, if you ask my humble opinion, they're probably nothing compared to his connections to China and how much influence China has over him. But What do I know? All right. I also wanted to discuss Pokrovsk, everybody. Hi, Scott. Thank you. And thank you, Adel, too. Thank you. Hi, Moo. Hello. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I was on a tangent, so... I followed you, and I can't remember why. Probably, Dylan, it was during the beginning stages of the war. In 2022, I was doing daily streams from Ukraine, and a lot of people followed me back then, or maybe you also like anime, and then you followed me prior to that. Yeah, it was really scary. It was really scary when it started. I remember being absolutely horrified. It's like your worst nightmare becoming true again. Okay, TikTok wants to kick me out. Okay, I'm gonna catch up with the TikTok chat, everybody, and then we're gonna discuss Pokrovsk, okay? I will not forget. I will not forget. Georgia is Alabama's next door neighbor, both just north of Florida. Actually, the geographic location is something that I knew because this is what Gone with the Wind taught me. I know, right? That was quite a choice. Thanks to my aunt, by the way, whom we have mentioned, because she told me this is such an incredible book that I definitely have to check out. Budapest Memorandum. Yeah, there was that. I think most of you remember that, and I think most of you were very keen on respecting that and keeping your word. So, but then, yeah, gradually it has turned into who cares? Who cares about that? Who cares about Budapest Memorandum and all of these commitments that we've made, which was devastating to see on so many levels. Not even this much about us per se, but you immediately realize when witnessing rhetoric like this coming from the people on the right that they could use it against pretty much any actual ally. Oh, thank you, Maddie. That's adorable. Thank you. This is so cute. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is something that could be used about Estonia, for instance, said about Lithuania, Latvia. Like, who are these people? Right? What do you mean? What Article 5? What NATO Article 5? No one wants to do that. Nobody wants to defend those people. And this is how the collapse from within starts. This is how it all goes down, because this would be the end of the alliance. So, oh well. Victimized blaming is in vogue right now. Victim blaming, yeah. Oh well. Good to see you, everybody. I know. I keep trying. I don't know why. Right? Thank you. This is the cup. I'm using the same cup for the second time now, but it's because of the color coordination, everybody. So, the dragons, blue. This thing with cats, blue. Yes, it has cats on it. I don't know if you can see the cats. Can you see the cats, YouTube? Hopefully you can. Blue. The earrings, blue. And also the shirt is blue. So, yeah, I know what... I'm blue. Dabudi dabudai. They should arrest me for this criminal sense of humor. Yeah, thank you for tapping, everybody. Thank you for engaging with the live and with the content. It's appreciated. Also live on YouTube. We're going to be looking at the footage of Pokrovsk right now, and also looking at Pokrovsk on the map. So if you are interested, thank you, Josh, in seeing that, you can head over to YouTube. It's linked in my bio. All right, let's look at Pokrovsk. So Pokrovsk is the reminder to those of you who do not remember. It's the frontline city in Donetsk Oblast. It's right here, and this is the place that we have recently been discussing a lot. This is the place where Russians are trying to encircle not only Pokrovsk itself, but also Mirnograd next to it. You can already see that this, according to this map, the pocket remains the same, but we've already discussed how some of the advancements of the Russian troops are not necessarily immediately reflected on this map. So, for instance, if we compare it to about a week ago, well, we can see that it's the same line. But if we go back to a couple of days, you can see that it seems insignificant. In reality, it could be much worse. So, one of the volunteers, Yana Schidna, some of you might remember her from back in the day. We used to participate in her fundraisers before. Recently, she has been working on evacuating people from the frontline cities. And so some of the footage that she has posted from Pokrovsk. So what she says, according to the Pokrovsk city military administration, 1,342 people still remain in the city, but there is no longer any life in the city. Since July 19th, entry here has been impossible. On the roads where there was still movement and activity not so long ago, there are now dozens of burned out vehicles, both military and civilian passenger cars and armored ones. The air carries the stench of death because it's no longer possible to retrieve deceased civilians from under the rubble. The sky is filled with enemy drones controlling every corner of the city. And this is the footage. This is the video of Pokrovsk. As you can see, it's just completely destroyed, right? It's shattered. The apartment building is burned. Everything in front of it is destroyed. This is what they're doing whenever they are advancing. And you can see that this is the situation with all of the buildings. And this is where the people used to live. These are all apartment complexes, everybody. This was a pretty big city. I believe 60,000 people. As it was already said today, Pokrovsk is dying in agony. We see it, we understand, but it's still impossible to fully grasp it. I do not know what else to write. So this is the person who goes there regularly, right? This is someone who goes there to evacuate people all the time, and someone who is from Donbass herself. The situation is getting worse every day. Everything the Russians have is being launched at the city, causing a lot of massive destruction. It's currently impossible to assess the consequences, just as it's impossible to determine the number of civilian casualties. And once again, there is a video of them driving in Pokrovsk, and you can see just basically more destroyed buildings. Everything's just being obliterated. So why am I showing you all of this? We talk about this all the time, right? We talk about the advancements, we talk about the destroyed cities, we talk about the destruction that it brings. But I think sometimes it's necessary to put an image to what's happening. So wait, this might be graphic. No, this is from the medical stabilization point. We're not gonna be looking at that. This could be pretty graphic. But everyone. So this was just something from Pokrovsk that I wanted to show you. And also, sometimes she posts some of the memories of what the city used to be like. But it was just the regular Eastern Ukrainian city. It wasn't something stunning. But of course, it doesn't mean that it deserved to be destroyed in such a cruel manner. It's extremely solemn seeing something like this, because we've already seen this. We've seen similar posts, similar stories about so many places from Donbass already, and this just reads as this farewell letter from someone who were in Pokrovsk, who loved this place, who has memories there, and is now saying goodbye to the city that was killed. And now, the Russians, the occupation that is about to follow is just basically them taking over a corpse, right? This is not a living city anymore. And no, they're not going to rebuild it. They're not going to do anything about it. Most of the places they have occupied and destroyed, they just remain ruined, and they're just sitting there, dead. So yes, everyone, this is the reality of the situation. This is the front line. Let me see what you guys are saying. Vindictus is saying we dropped the ball on Budapest memorandum. No, I mean, I wouldn't really say that you dropped the ball on it necessarily. I still believe that the decision to honor this commitment was made, and it was great. Of course, yeah, we can argue that more could have been done, and what could have been done, and all of this. But ultimately, there was nothing preventing you from just walking altogether. Imagine if you had Trump as president back then. I'm sure you would have just walked away. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if that were to happen. So what we saw was, it was tremendous. I couldn't believe it. I've already told you guys so many times. When I saw the support that we have received, I couldn't believe it. Because I thought that we're not going to get anything. The Europeans would close the borders and we would all be slaughtered here by the Russians. This was just me in the first hours of after I heard Putin's speech on the night of the invasion. So, and then we started seeing the support and the military support to something that I couldn't even believe, I couldn't even fathom. I'm a Canadian, says Dave, and I have no illusion that America is our ally anymore. Yeah, that's unfortunately the result of the hostile rhetoric from the White House. I would like to see Ukrainian soldiers instructing Canadian with their drone expertise to help us protect ourselves from Trump. Well, hopefully this will not... No. I don't want to believe that it will ever come to that. But I do like the idea. Hi, Carol. Hi, good to see you. I will look at the TikTok chat in a second. I'm currently looking at the YouTube one. But I would like to believe, thank you, that we could potentially have more cooperation, and especially with the drone warfare, because if there is something our soldiers have an extensive experience in, it's definitely the drone warfare. So let's look at this from the positive angle. How about we do not think that you will need to use it against Trump, but we could just use it for deepening and strengthening of the cooperation between Canada and Ukraine. Just but that's the result of these words being thrown, and just so recklessly. That was my father sneezing. Bless you. That's the problem when you're being reckless and careless with such rhetoric. You can just destroy decades of trust. And why? And for what? For likes on Truth Social. Okay. Привіт. О, теріякі. Обожнюю теріякі. Дякую, що дивитесь. I wish they would go home, Vindictus, honestly. And thank you for coming from TikTok chat. Yeah, we were just looking at Pokrovsk. Alright, now I'm looking at the TikTok chat myself. Everybody, hi, Feisty, good to see you. Let me scroll back a little bit. Okay. The TikTok chat does this thing that it does from time to time. Yeah, the Putin-Trump meeting, I know. If it's gonna happen, I do not think it's gonna be good. Everything that we're hearing so far is extremely disturbing, to say the least. All of the talks of the sanctions potentially getting lifted or the occupied territories getting recognized. Yeah, it's just one horror story after the other. Of course, if there is a potential for actual ceasefire, I think this is why our side continues using the words like the real, like the actual ceasefire, the real peace, the functioning peace, the working peace deal, and not whatever. I think this is to emphasize that whatever certain leaders have in mind might not necessarily cut it. All right. I wish Europe would put more pressure to balance out the lack of American commitment. With Europe, I think Europe has found itself in a bit of a pickle. Europe is waking up, because Europe has been in denial for a very long time, and Europe found itself having not enough military capacity, I think, and just having to face it and realize that, okay, something has to be done about it because we're facing a very real threat. We've already talked, right, how much Russian influence there was so deeply in the upper echelons of the European countries, right? This influence, these deals, this constant conversation about how good everything is and how tight they are economically. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, decades of this slumber that now has to be shaken off because the reality is knocking on the door. I will tell him that you guys were saying bless you to my dad. I know. Dark days, everybody, but we will push through, right? Let's not fall into disbelief and inaction. It's not over. We're still here, right? And things can always change for the best. So, wait, what happened? What is going on? Okay, I missed something. Apologies, everyone. Now I cannot understand what happened. All right. Truth Social, right? I know. U.S. citizens, nothing overboard. Okay. Jesus, take the wheel. Please, everybody, let's be nice to each other. I'm begging. U.S. citizens might need drone tech if the military here starts being activated against this. Okay, this is another nightmarish scenario. But yeah, immediately takes me back to that message from Joe Biden, right? When he told the military to remember the oath, right? Okay, let's not think about the darkest possible scenarios. Let's think once again about yes, it is good. It is good that the drone tech is finally being taken seriously. Because recently we have had a devastating realization that apparently certain individuals were not actually taking it as seriously as it should have been taken. There was this bizarre instance with was it the Pentagon Twitter? Basically, some of them, Department of Defense, them bragging about how, we're going to implement like a couple of drones. This is so cool. This is such a modern, innovative technology. And all of the replies were just littered with, what are you talking about, right? For the last 3 years, everything we've been seeing is footage of the drone combat from Ukraine. And wake up. And they even had to delete the tweet. So, yeah, hopefully they are awake now. Because there is one country that is awake and is manufacturing, I don't know how many, hundreds of thousands of drones monthly. The number of drones that is capable of supplying both us and the Russians, and that's China. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while, Carol. Good to see you. It's, you didn't really miss much. It's all same old, horrible things. Russians advancing, Trump wants to meet with Putin, because of course. And it goes both ways. Canada has provided training for Ukraine. Right, yeah, there has been a lot of our troops training in the Western countries. Hi, thank you, Jayshaz, thank you. Good to see you. There are big differences between EU countries as well, right? And this is both good. It could work as this, to balance out the bad apples, the bad actors, but it also could unfortunately serve as a weakness when we've already discussed in the past, right? How whenever the unity is needed on something of actual importance, someone like Orban pops out and starts spitting nonsense, and and that's the problem. So both good and bad things. Leaders don't recognize that Russia and bad guys are always in it for the long game, especially with the Russians. Yeah, I think there's been a lot of misrepresentation and misunderstanding regarding them, but maybe we're wrong. Maybe, they will sign the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful peace deal and everything's gonna be amazing. Yeah. I agree 100%, Josh. I do believe he misunderstands the core concept. Or maybe he doesn't, and then it's even worse because then it's done on purpose. Okay, everybody. Let me see what's happening Okay, we have some air raid alerts in the eastern regions, but once again you can see that it's very different from, thank you, it's very different from the way things were even a week ago, when by this point in the stream I think almost the entire map was covered in the air raid alerts. So yeah, right now it's Sumska Oblast, which is a frontline region. In Kharkiv there is, yeah, this part is constantly, thank you Tizai, good to see you, is constantly looking like this, because once again this is the gray/battlefield area. This is Donetsk Oblast, so this is Donbass, which is also frontline regions, right? We also have the, well, Crimea. I don't understand why Crimea is always red here. Although, admittedly, the drone strikes on Crimea have been continuous in the last weeks. Different parts of Crimea. We talked about the strike on Saki last time. So yeah, this is Crimea, everyone. The dear home of mine. But yeah, the rest of the country seems okay-ish, at least for now. Oops, what, thank you, Linda, what is happening? Thank you so much. I've never seen that one before. You guys keep surprising me with and so does TikTok. I'm in a toxic relationship with TikTok, everybody. One of the possibilities for this potential, US Russia plan, the truce, right, and something that we've been worried about. To those of you who are just joining, we've already discussed this at the very beginning, so I'm just going to repeat myself slightly, is that there is a possibility of this cementing Putin's gains in Ukraine. Right, this is Bloomberg reporting on this too, but yeah, everyone is really worried that there is a potential to, recognizing, for instance, the Russian occupation of the regions that they have taken over. However, this does raise an interesting question of how the Russians are going to play this out, because remember, they have put several regions of Ukraine in their constitution as their property without actually taking over those regions fully, like Kherson and Zaporizhia. Let's go and look at those. Right, so as you can see, we have all of this territory. I think on this map we will see it. No, we will not. Okay, maybe from afar it will be even better, right? So you see all of these parts that are not taken over. But then I remember, wait, this is Russians, right? This is the Kremlin. They're just gonna tell their little populace that they have already taken over everything and they have won, and they will use their state propagandas to say that everything is perfect and the victory has been achieved, and everyone's gonna be like, yay. So yeah, what am I talking about even? What am I saying? Okay, missed a bunch of messages as always. Thank you, Tizai. You people. Some of your humor. Thank you. I also like this blouse. My mom gave it to me years ago, and then I stopped wearing it for some reason. I forgot why. But yeah, it's good. Whenever I wear colors like this, I immediately think of my grandma, and my late grandma Nelly. I think I showed her to you guys. This is us. This is my dad's mom. YouTube. I don't know if you can see my grandma. That's her and me, and I have a Coca-Cola bottle, the symbol of New Year in a Slavic household. Anyway, whenever she would see me in these dark, gloomy colors, she would always get so mad. Like, what are you wearing? This is not a good color on you. You should be wearing bright colors. You should be wearing happy colors. And then she would immediately try to put me into, I don't know, brightly neon pink colored sweater or something. So oh, that's a chicken. Thank you. Yeah, memories. Oh, and thank you so much. Let me see. Dude who loves pizza. And before that, I think it was Chelsea. Thank you. I finally figured out how to tap on people's names. Did you read about the front lines being free? Yeah, we've already discussed that, right? But this is currently a rumor, right? This is a rumor. This is one of the things that is rumored could be offered to Putin as whatever. The worst thing, it's not the front line being frozen. Even I cannot believe I'm saying this. The sanctions being lifted. Out of all of the speculations that we have seen, that's the worst one, because that means they are so coming back, and next time they do, they're gonna kill all of us. Ah, Christ. Okay. I never realized until recently, says Rabbit, how often Putin and Netanyahu communicate. Oh, they're like this. Bibi and Vova, they love each other. They even used, I don't know if you guys watched my video on the 9th of May parade in Russia, but I even featured some images of Putin and Bibi when they were celebrating 9th of May together years ago. Look at them. Look at them with pictures. This is what the Russians do on the 9th of May. They walk around with pictures of grandfathers who either fought in the World War II or were somewhere near the World War II or weren't around the World War II. Anyway, so yeah, they're walking around. It's this huge propaganda event. And yeah, let's look at them. Last time we discussed how close Putin and Berlusconi were, but that's Putin and Bibi also enjoying each other very, very much. And the main topic of communication regarding the Middle Eastern situation is always Syria, right? Because Putin helped Assad to stay in power, and wait, what is this? Up until recently, now Assad lives somewhere on a dacha in Moscow. Nobody really knows where. Hopefully in the same apartment with our disgraced president, Yanukovych, former president. Yeah, they communicate a lot. They have a lot in common. Murder, corruption, Not surprising, absolutely. There was a report of a fire in a substation near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plants 2 days ago, with possible power cables being laid to Russia. Was there any news on how the NPP is getting on? I think it has been stabilized from what I have seen, at least. It has been stabilized from the last time it happened. I do not remember how many days ago exactly, but yeah, usually it's, let me think. Yeah, I think if it weren't, trust me, it would have been everywhere. This is your first sign. Whenever we're dealing with the stuff like nuclear power plants, yeah, when something goes wrong with those, the information is usually everywhere. Okay, something else I wanted to discuss. I start forgetting things, everybody. We're at this point in the stream where I start forgetting things. They made an online catalog of our kidnapped children. Yeah, we have to discuss that, everybody. This is going to be our next topic. I'm sorry. Yeah, another dark thing that we're gonna discuss. No, that's cute still. Allergic to pastels. It immediately, whenever I hear the word pastels, I think of the movie Addams Family Values. What was the quote? Basically, like, the murder I can forgive, but Debbie, pastels. Okay, everybody, let me see what the TikTok is saying. Well, yeah, I know. It's the abusive relationship, toxic relationship with TikTok. Oh, thank you, Zoe. Is this a reminder for me to have a little sip? Okay. That's better. Refreshing. What a cute couple. Yeah, they like each other. They like each other very much, I know. Yeah, the grandpa on a stick situation with the Russian 9th of May. Thank you, Henrik. It has been extremely confusing and bewildering to all of us, and kind of, I don't know, I cannot imagine that. I cannot imagine taking, and I could have taken a bunch of grandpas of mine because they all fought in the World War II, and I could have put them all on sticks and parade them around, but there's just something icky about this. Worst thing is that NATO and EU memberships are off the table. No, it's not. With the same speculation that they've been having, it's the same source, right? So it's not really a source, it's just the speculation. But they also said that the NATO membership is going to remain on the table for Ukraine. So which is surprising, I know. But what about the rules? But what about... Nobody cares, everybody. Nobody cares. All of these rules are made up and they can be changed at any given moment. So, as the past has already taught us. Okay, let's talk about the awful stuff. Get it over with. So what you're looking right now, what you're seeing right now, if you are on YouTube, it's the online catalog that Russians have created where you can choose a kidnapped Ukrainian child. I wish this was a joke. It's not. It's not a joke. So for instance, right here, so in this, in the images that you are seeing right now, the faces of the kids are blurred. In the original source, they were not blurred. So it has the name of a kid, it has the age, it says something about their personality, how friendly they are and how active they are and how they respect the adults and they love the sports and games. And if you would like to get to know the kid, you can click on the link and you can send an email and you can meet the kid. And there is 294 children. This is created in the Lugansk Oblast. This is the Lugansk Oblast, occupied Oblast of Ukraine. That's the one. That's the one that's also, we consider it a part of Donbass. Whenever we talk about this, well, they usually lump it in whenever they talk about Donbass, they mean Donetsk and Luhansk. Anyway, yeah, so that's 300 kids. One of the worst thing about this catalog is that you can actually pick and choose the characteristics of a child that you want. So it has this little menu where you can choose the gender of a child, you can choose the age, you can choose whether or not you would like the child to have brothers or sisters, you can also choose their eye color and hair color, which is, yeah, that's the whole new level of disgusting. And yeah, photos of all the children on the website are with open faces. This is the Ukrainian media outlet Grunt Media reporting on this, but it was also reported. It was reported by multiple outlets. Currently it's a major story. With open faces, they can be filtered by gender, eye color, hair color. And yeah, they're described as obedient, calm, and treating adults with respect. And yeah, more pictures of the kids right here. Some of them look beaten. I don't know, I kept looking at their legs and I feel like I can see the marks of the, okay, I don't want to know what they're doing to them in Luhansk. Most children from the catalog were born before the occupation of Luhansk and had Ukrainian citizenship. The parents of some of them were killed by the occupational authorities, while others were simply given Russian documents to legalize their abduction. That was reported by Mykola Kuleba, the former president's commissioner for children's rights. Yeah, everybody. A catalog of stolen children. And you can filter them by the eye color and the hair color. And you can pick and choose whichever one you like. Так, скажіть, це просто жах. Це просто, в мене нема слів просто, коли це бачу. To do what exactly? I mean, technically adopt, I guess. Sorry, lemon. I hurt my lemon. But then, is anyone monitoring what's gonna happen? I really doubt it, knowing how their orphanages operate, how the system operates, how Luganskая Народная Республика operates, the LNR. I do not... Okay. I know, Vicky. I know. Yeah, everyone. So, that's on the topic of war crimes and the kidnapped children. And also, yes, this is... of course, this is illegal. I don't think this has to be specified. And this, we have seen in similar instances like this in the past. For instance, I think one of the most famous was in Poland, where the Polish children were taken by the Nazi authorities and then put into the German families and basically assimilated as German if they met certain characteristics, looked Aryan, whatever. I think this is the most famous example. But yeah, it's just whenever we talk about this and whenever we discuss this issue, right? And we've so many times we have mentioned that this is the issue of the kidnapped children, is the issue over which Putin has received his infamous, beautiful, glorious arrest warrant by the International Court. And then we discuss all of this, and they become even more brazen with what they're doing. They're not trying to hide anything. They're not trying to, pretend like this is, it's just, it's not happening. Remember how they used to say, like, this is not happening? Log onto the website, pick a kid, pick the eye color, the hair color, have a wonderful day. Please and thank you. All right. Yeah, another one. Okay, while we're on the topic of awful things, everybody, we also had a statement from the senior advisor to Putin on ethnic affairs, someone named Bogdan Bispalka, which is interestingly, it's a Ukrainian name, but this is what happens a lot. We see a lot of them, like for instance Medinsky, who is the one of the main negotiators on the Russian side. He was born in Ukraine and he has Polish-sounding last name, so yeah, whatever. Anyway, so this wonderful advisor, I wonder what he had to say. Let's see. We want Ukraine to stop existing as a state. We want its people gone. Let's say into immigration or somewhere far away. That's our goal. The ever peaceful, beautiful, ready for a peace deal. Definitely not going to stab anyone in the back ever again. Incredible. Love everything about this beautiful specimen. So yeah, that's on the topic of disgusting things that have been happening. Most of the stuff that I have bookmarked is in relation to the potential meeting with Trump and Putin, but yeah, there's also some, and it's kind of sprinkled with some genocidal rhetoric in between, I know. Human trafficking. Yep, exactly. The kid stuff it's exactly what it is. So, and also the message that they're sending here, the reason why they're claiming so often that that what they're doing is they're saving those kids, it's directly tied to what you just heard, right? If the ones who are not going to be assimilated, the ones who are not going to be Russified, the ones who are not going to be taken, I don't know, into the great mother Russia, I guess, yeah, they're up for extermination. So when they're saying we're saving those kids, actually, there is also this underlying meaning of what's going to happen to what they would like to happen to the rest of us, I guess. Oh boy, everybody, I know. Yeah, they're just saying the quiet part out loud, right? Just so easily. No, it's good that you don't understand. It's good that you don't understand. Neither genocide nor ethnic cleansing, none of the... It's... A normal human being is not supposed to understand these things. But you do have to, I think we have an obligation to look out for the early signs. Because all of this rhetoric starts out semi-innocently. It always starts out completely differently. And when I go back to about a decade ago, more than a decade ago, my god, what, about 15 years ago, I think, by this point, when it was all just getting started on the Russian state TV and we were all just thinking of it as a joke or something. Yeah, we should have read the signs more closely, I think. Because yeah, the signs, they're pretty much the same. They have been studied, and you can always spot them in the media. You can spot them from certain officials. You can spot them, especially these days. Yeah, you guys, I know. Thank you. Okay. We have already talked about a lot of Trump and a lot of Putin. Candace Owens. We can get distracted with Candace. Just okay. Let me read the chat first, and then. Man's inhumanity to man, says Dave, is as limitless as the power of human stupidity. Right. Exactly, and it can be weaponized. Unfortunately, that's one of the main problems. They are weaponizing it, and okay. No, we will survive. Hopefully, we will find a way out. Everybody. Let's see. Right, there is a lot of I see the signs of this pretty much everywhere, and it's being passed. They're pretending like it's a joke, like it's a gag, like it's a meme, and this is what the Russians have been doing with us at first too. It was also supposed to be like a gag or whatever, but in reality they were shifting the overtone window. The propaganda video that I keep promising you, I'm gonna post it very soon, and I talk about the overtone window and how propagandists do it in greater detail, so hopefully, yeah, you will find it interesting for yourself. It's gonna be up on YouTube. Okay, let's talk about Candace to get ourselves distracted. So to those of you who do not remember, Candace Owens is the far-right American commentator, I guess. I don't know, provocateur. That's an interesting freeze frame of her. Whatever, idiot. One of the people, by the way, spreading around extremely hateful rhetoric. And the only reason why we're giving her any time of the day, normally I would not engage with anything like that, is the fact that she decided to go after the first family of France, so Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, and his wife Brigitte. And she spent about a year, I think, Candace, on this weird crusade claiming that Brigitte Macron is actually a man. And she decided to turn it into her life mission, I guess. Well, then the Macrons announced that they will be suing Candace. And at first she was all like very cool about it and pretended like she's actually happy. And this is something that she has always wanted. And she went on Tucker Carlson to discuss this in great detail. And even Tucker laughed at her. But anyway, something has changed. Something has shifted. Something in the stars, something in the moon. So in this particular clip, for instance, she's angry about the fact that Trump and J.D. Vance are not intervening. I wanted to show you the whole clip. Now, honestly, I don't think I will. This is not, it's not worth it. But yeah, she was confused for why on earth wouldn't Trump and Vance intervene. She thought they were going to rush to her defense, and they're not, because apparently she's now realizing that, this lawsuit is not looking good for her. So she believes she's currently trying to take the angle of the foreign authorities are trying to silence the US free speech champion, which is Candace, and are trying to impoverish her for speaking. I do not think Candace understands what free speech is. These types usually never understand it. They are the ones who are spitting the most vile, disgusting rhetoric regarding groups of people, different people, just anyone. She has managed to talk smack about everyone. She even managed to offend the group of people I belong to, which is like, nobody cares normally about like Orthodox, the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, and she does. She had a lot of things to say about us and how we were ethnically cleansed by Zelensky. Yes, I am the first streamer and YouTuber who is broadcasting from Afterlife, everybody. Anyway, but whenever they face the consequences, for some reason, they start freaking out and screaming and crying and saying, my free speech. So, yeah. Apparently, her and her husband have a combined net worth estimated at over 200 million. I'm not sure about that, but alright. I don't know for how long, though, because... Yeah, Brigitte and Emmanuel are... yeah, they're coming after you, Candace, so... I know, you guys. I hate these characters so much. Honestly, normally I wouldn't be for something like this if we genuinely saw like an authority figure trying to silence a media outlet or something, like coverage perhaps on corruption or something. That would be a completely different conversation, but that's not it. And she's trying to pass it off as, thank you, BL23. This is not it. This is completely different. This is defamation. Okay, well, it's just been really interesting. She tried to milk it as much as she possibly could, but I think at this point she realizes that, yeah, it's not working out. Something has gone terribly wrong. J.D. Vance is not vouching for her, should we say, not couching for her. But What is happening? All right, this is just a little update because we already talked about her before. So I was like, okay, let's see what Candace is up to. Yeah, she wants Trump to call Macron, I guess. She also kind of threw Trump under the bus in a way, because in this video that I decided not to show you, because no, let's not ruin this nice evening. Already too much horror. She also says that apparently Trump called her, so she's flexing the fact that she's talking to Trump on the phone, and he told her that when he saw Brigitte from up close, she looked like a woman to him. So Candace uses this as some sort of gotcha moment, and which it's not. It's literally proving the point of the people you have been defaming for some reason for the last year and a half. Okay, I don't know. I guess we'll never know. Right? Yeah. Yeah, many layers to this person and everything she has been doing, everything she's been trying to achieve. I know. It's the same old stuff. There was someone named Ken yelling about something. Wait, did I miss it? Oh no. I missed Ken. Zoe got him before I could go on a rant. Right, and she also, this is such a weird hill to die on. This is, I think, one of the most bizarre things. I mean, it makes sense in the context of what this particular person is trying to do, and the kind of hatred that she's trying to weaponize, in particular against the trans people. But when you start thinking about it, not from the position of an insufferable bigot who dedicated their entire life to just non-stop hate for profit, you realize that this is just so painfully stupid. The woman had 3 children, and it's just such a weird hill to die on. Oh well. Maybe it's good that we don't understand these people. Maybe it's Героям слава, дякую. Maybe it's good. Maybe it says something good about us. And again, so many things you could. If you talk to any French person in your life, they will immediately list you 10 things you can criticize Macron and Brigitte. And if you want to go all nitpicky and, I don't know, look at someone's dirty underwear, you could look at their extremely uncomfortable, to say the least, age gap and how their relationship started. No, Candace doesn't care about that. Candace only cares about, I don't know what that is. Oh well. Okay, that's Trump again. No. I also promised you the story of the Witkov's Cheburek, everybody. It sounds like something very unpleasant. It's not as unpleasant if it sounds. To those of you who do not know what Cheburek is, I'm gonna show you what Cheburek is first. Maybe you've never tried a Cheburek. You should if you haven't. This is what it looks like. It's delicious. I love it. I love the Chebureki. I grew up with them. We had them in Crimea. Well, not like this. I think probably these ones are the closest to what we had. They were considered like a traditional... Oh, thank you, Maddie. Thank you. Yay. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the support, everybody. Thank you also for the tapping and the sharing and the gifts and everything. I appreciate you all. Okay, so the YouTube people, what you're looking at is a Cheburek. The ones that we used to have in Crimea. Okay, I think this is the closest one that we have had. They were made by the Karaime. Those of you who remember my Crimea deep dive from several streams ago, you remember who Karaime were. They're a part of the Crimean native population. It's this Jewish, Turkic people, and very interesting culture. And they were making the best Chebureki I have ever tried in my entire life. But they're also prepared in other cultures as well. So Cheburek is a good thing. Wait, let me see, how does Google define them? Let's define a Cheburek. Wikipedia, please let us know. Is there an English article? It's Cheburek. Okay, I thought maybe there's a translation. Okay, Wikipedia tells us that Cheburek is deep-fried turnovers with a filling of ground or minced meat and onions. And there's also an equivalent without the one without the meat. It's called chirchir, and it comes with cheese and tomatoes, and it's incredible. So yeah, it's just a wonderful stuff. Чебуреки is national dish for Crimean Tatar cuisine, but also for Karaimы too. Karaimы are usually forgotten. The Karaites, nope. We do not do that. They're popular as a snack and street food throughout the Caucasus, West Asia, Central Asia, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Ukraine, Russia, and Eastern Europe. Wait, who else is Eastern? Do they mean Belarus? Because they pretty much listed everything. Okay, I don't know. These people know what they're talking about. Anyway, let's go back to Witkov's Cheburek. So apparently Trump's special envoy Witkov, when he was visiting Putin and was all giddy and happy about it, he had a cheburek for breakfast in Moscow, and it became a massive news in Russia. With RIA Novosti reporting it as one of the day's most important events. And apparently there were other media outlets reporting on that as well. Later that evening, thank you, Linda, a host on Moscow 24 found the very same cheburek. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, guys. And dramatically ate it live on air, praising it as rich in filling, full of herbs, very traditional. Hopefully, Witkov liked it too. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And Moo and everybody, I see you. Mwah. Thank you. So, yeah, let's look at the host having a cheburek, I guess. I also want to see if this cheburek is any good. She is so happy. Okay, that's a good looking cheburek. I'm gonna give this one to them. The Russian tradition. What did she say? Wait, did she say it was a Russian tradition? Okay, we just had an interesting pretty much live case of the cultural appropriation. We have just discovered that this was not a Russian dish, that this is considered a Crimean Tatar and Karaite dish. Okay, and that is also popular, in Caucasus and other places, basically the places where, the reason why it's popular in Central Asia, I imagine, is because this is where the Crimean Tatars were deported to, so this is not a Russian dish, okay. Okay. Yeah, this is how it works, everybody. The price is 550 rubles. It's a golden cheburek. Okay, I don't really know what it means, but back in the day it used to be a lot of money. She's so happy about the cheburek. She's okay. Now we're not gonna look at her eating it. No mukbang from Russian Moskva 24 propagandists, but yeah. I was hoping maybe they would show us Witkov eating the cheburek. No, they didn't. But it made headlines apparently because. Sure, of course it did. Why the hell not? Yeah, they are very tasty. They are not exactly similar. Okay, so they look like a calzone, right? But they're not. I don't think, if you deep fry a calzone, perhaps, but the dough is different. It's the cheburek dough. I think it's thinner. It's supposed to be very crispy. So I would say there is a difference. But yeah, you can say that it kind of, you can compare it in a way, very similar to empanada. Now this is something I have never tried. Wait, let me see. Empanada. Let me switch to English. Nada. Who are you? Ah, yes, they are! Would you look at that? But I would say that these... Okay, so the empanadas, from the look of it, they look more chunky. Because the Karaites back home, they also had something similar to that. It was not a cheburek. It was like, we would always call it like a Karaite pie. That would... Yeah, it's much closer to that as well. It's a very similar shape. And it also had this like different types of filling. But yeah, you could say that. Okay, I'm learning so much today, everybody. There's something something similar. I hope Candace Oh God. No, please, no, we're not gonna go there. Okay. Okay, sorry, TikTok chat. We were looking at the chebureki and the empanadas and the rest of them, and now I'm back. I'm looking at you. No, they are amazing, honestly. It was incredible. And I used to live very close to basically the best place in the world, in my humble opinion, that made them. It was incredible. We were like literally around the corner from that, in the middle of the old town in Yevpatoria. And do I miss my cheburek? The things these people took from me, including chebureki. But I believe we have a restaurant, a Crimean Tatar restaurant in Kiev that makes them. So maybe if I'm ever in Kiev, I can have one again. Maybe it's going to be similar. I can compare it. Is life normal again in Ukraine? Here in my region, it has never really changed. In the frontline regions, we've just looked at the images of cities turned to dust, pretty much. So no, I wouldn't say that about the frontline regions. Many different types of empanada too, depends on where you get them. Okay, that makes sense. I need to try an empanada. I will not be able to find it here though. I can imagine the look on people's faces if I were to ask. Well, obviously not everywhere. Of course, I can imagine you probably can get anything in Kiev because they have everything in Kiev. But here in the rural western Ukraine, oh no, the babusi are gonna be super confused about what is it that I'm saying. All right, everybody. We will be wrapping things up. I think we're gonna do 10 more minutes. We're just gonna chat. Let me know if there's anything you would like to discuss, any questions that you still have. Okay, I jinxed it. I jinxed the air raid alert map. I was hoping that it was gonna be quiet. No, we already have most of the country covered in air raid alerts. To those of you who are new to be already looking at what the situation is like. Wait, have we already had anything horrible happening? By the way, remember last time we were talking about how Russians hit that part of Kherson, the island part? Let me scroll back to that. That's Pokrovsk. Yeah, so this is, right? This is the bridge that was struck from their aviation. So now the people from that island are being evacuated. So yeah, something bad is about to happen. Just a little update. It was just in, so already 1,400 people were evacuated from that area. Okay, for now, no information on the new strikes, at least. And more, just more info. Trump and Putin may meet at the end of the next week. Okay, no one is excited about that. Absolutely no one. Everybody hated that. Okay. I know, right? What would I give for a cheburek? You people, you will never know. Oh my god. Well, maybe one day. Let's dream. If we dream and imagine all of us visiting Crimea one day when it's free and liberated, I would take you all on a tour, and I would take you to the Kinasa, which is actually, this is a name for the religious, like this is the temple of the Karaite people, but the restaurant was also called the Kinasa because it's next to the temple, and I think the name sounds cool and exotic enough for all of us who are not Karaites. So yeah, I would take you all on a tour in another life. The cheburek is fried. It's 100%. It's deep fried. So is chirchir. Let me also show you chirchir while we're at it. Will it be able to show me a chirchir? Let's find out. I want to see the inside of a chirchir. It looks, on the outside it looks like a cheburek, but on the inside it has cheese and tomato. No, no one knows how to take a picture of their chirchirs in this country. Jesus. No. Is it Greek? There's a video about it being Greek. Okay, no decent pictures of my chirchire, unfortunately. Oh well, I don't deserve it, I guess, anymore. The milk lady, I haven't seen her in a while. Recently she has been arriving late at night. She arrives late at night, quietly, drops the milk off, and then she returns the next day for the money, so... Yeah, she's been operating in a very secretive mode, our milk lady, our milk grandma. Any fun plans for the weekend? So tomorrow is my mom's birthday, so we're definitely gonna do something fun for that. We still haven't figured out, because she's supposed to be the one telling us what she wants to do because it's her birthday. She's been changing her mind. Like, I don't know, we already had several versions, at least 5 of what we were gonna do. I think the most recent one is that, so tomorrow we're gonna go on a walk, and then we will do like a shashlik, like a barbecued meat, whatever. We'll see, maybe she will change her mind again, but that's the main plan for tomorrow. Yeah, I guess technically I could try to do that, right? But this would be a very ambitious project for me, because I'm usually not very good with dough for some reason. I'm better with vegetables and smooshing them together. Is there a difference in the types of food in different regions? Oh yes. There are even differences in how people make borscht. Or other dishes, how people make the sirniki or vareniki or anything. Yeah, and everyone's gonna tell you that their region does it best and the rest of us don't know anything. But in our particular case with Crimea, because we had all of these, oh, is this a potato walking towards me? Thank you, Josh. Oh, you guys, cracking me up. With us, with Crimea, so many different nationalities living there, right? More than 100, according to some polls, well, one census that we had back in 2001, I think 147 nationalities living in Crimea. So, yeah, we had a lot of culinary diversity, and yeah, nothing can compete with Crimea when it comes to that. So a lot of the Turkic influences and Jewish influences, and we also had a Korean community, a pretty substantial one, and the Armenian community and the Greek community, and everyone under the sun pretty much. So yeah, what is the typical Ukrainian breakfast? That's a good question. I don't know. It immediately hit me. Probably a sandwich. Because, yeah, the globalization got to us. But we also love our cottage cheese. Some of you might already remember, we've talked about this before. The cottage cheese is fundamental. So, yeah, I think this is what a lot of us would do. Or sirnik, which is fried cottage cheese. I don't know. Do you guys know? I keep saying sirniki, and I imagine that you know what I'm talking about. This is them. This is sirnik. So it's made from cottage cheese. You just basically make like a little plumpy, like a bowl, and then you smoosh it and then you fry it, and you can also add stuff into it. You can add some. We like to add raisins, but some people don't. So depends. And then you can also add, of course, the staple, the sour cream. This one is a fancy version. How do you know that this is a fancy restaurant version? First of all, it's all about aesthetics. There are some leaves on top of it. We don't do it with the leaves. You need sour cream on top. You need some jam, homemade jam preferably. Okay, this is better. This is sour cream. Where's jam? It's all this fancy, Kiev Lviv restaurant type of situations that they're showing us. This is not how I would eat it. No. What is happening? Why are there leaves everywhere? But yeah, I would say this is probably the closest we get to like a typically Ukrainian breakfast, I guess, in my opinion. Maybe I'm forgetting something. And then the rest of the Ukrainians in the chat, if we have anyone who's Ukrainian, they're gonna get mad at me. Oh well, okay. Yeah, that's the sirnik, everybody. It's amazing. It's such a great thing. And especially when it's from the homemade cottage cheese, which is why we appreciate our milk lady, our milk grandma so much, because she brings us very good milk, and then we make the cottage cheese from the milk, and then we make the syrnik, and amazing stuff. Wouldn't that be nice? Are North Korean soldiers still active in Ukraine? Yeah, there's supposed to be a new batch arriving. Thank you, Mr. M. Sometime soon, and they will be positioned in Kursk Oblast of Russia. Do we have Kursk here? Yeah, it's here. Kursk Oblast of Russia. It's on the border with us, bordering Sumy. This is where our offensive used to be some time ago. So they are allegedly gonna be there. Okay, what have I missed, everybody? Deruny are incredible. But this is one of those things that I think a lot of people would claim. I know Belarus has a very strong claim on those, and of course the Russians too. They call them draniki. I think another word, is it nalisnik? No, nalisnik is something else. There is another word, I forgot. Okay, my brain is dying, everybody, so what is fried cottage cheese? The syrnik, if you are on YouTube, I was just showing it, and I'm currently showing it right now. It's not the cheese itself that is getting fried. You also add, okay, you take some cottage cheese, you add an egg, you add some flour, you add some sugar, then you roll it into a bowl, and you do it like this, and then you put it, and then you fry it in a pan so that it's nice and it's very late here. Why are you doing this to me? I've never considered frying cottage cheese, but I might start experimenting. You should. Just don't forget the egg and the flour. Look up the recipe, please. Cottage cheese, of course, it's the essence of a syrnik, but there are other things as well. Is cottage cheese the same as what I think, sort of yogurt type consistency with chunks of cheese? Let me show you. This is what we mean when we say cottage cheese. That's the one. So I'm not entirely sure if you have that available, maybe at a farmer's market. I don't know. I know that there's a very common Ukrainian complaint when Ukrainians live abroad, is that you cannot find a proper cottage cheese. We like it kind of on the drier end, a little fatty by itself, but without any extra liquid. So after you make it, we usually put it like in a piece of cloth, and so that the liquid can drip out of it, I guess. And yeah, what you're left with is a consistency like this. And I think this is the best. This is the best for a syrnik or two. Yeah, so if you would like to make it, and yeah, syrnik is usually sweet, but you can make it salty too. You can, it's totally up to you. You can make it not so sweet. Yeah, a small fat pancake. Exactly, Chelsea. Perfect. This is what it is. A small fat cottage cheese pancake. So yeah, you have it at a grocery store. Okay, incredible. So you already have, this is like half of the process. Something happened with the light. Why is it dark on the TikTok chat? Okay. I'm not asking questions anymore. Looks a bit different than what I think. Is it essentially vinegar and cream? Well, you're not supposed to be adding any vinegar into it. This is, you make it from milk. You make it from basically, what's the word? I forgot the word. Wait. The one that you put into tea as well. The one that milk has, that comes on top of milk, the fatty part of the milk. I forgot the word. Oh my god. Yeah, this is how you know that it's time to wrap up the live. Cream, right, it's cream. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that's essentially, I think that's cream and something. Yes, Zoe, thank you. Now, this is embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie, this is extremely embarrassing, but it happens. So yeah, I think it should be cream. Is it cream? So what we do, okay, we get the milk, right, from the milk grandma. Then we let the milk go bad a little bit, so that it would the parts would separate and look all droopy and unpleasant. Then you boil it, and after that, you get the essence of the milk, which I think it's partially cream and maybe partially something else. Then we put it in a piece of cloth, and then we let the remaining liquid leave the body of the cottage cheese. Just flow out, I guess. So yeah. Right. Okay, enough with the cottage cheese, everyone. Cream. Thank you guys. Yeah, sorry, I didn't. Of course, I didn't look at the chat, and now I have like 20 messages around saying cream. Oh god. Finnish people call cottage cheese moomin meat. Oh no. I do not like this message. Oh my god. Oh, the milk grandma is a very important character and a part of our lore, so why is the liquid left after straining cheese? Because, so I don't know the exact chemical process. I'm not really, Miss Heisenberg over here. But it's like the process of separation of the more liquidy parts of the milk from the fatty parts of the milk, I guess. But no, this is just me guessing. I'm clueless. I just know how it's done, and that's it. And I also know that for this you need the raw milk, you need a good quality milk, and it should be fatty and good. Obviously you cannot use none of the the oat, the soy. Nope, doesn't work. It has to be the real deal, obviously, and it has to be has to be strong stuff. And did he say moomin? Yes, the moomin meat. The moomin meat, I know. We are learning so much today, everybody. We are connecting with different cultures. I don't have all the culinary answers. I know. I try my best, but sometimes I fail miserably, especially when it comes to chemistry. No, again, sometimes you know the process, right? You know how it's done. In fact, you could do it with your eyes closed, but if you have to explain it to people, especially like the ins and outs of it, you're like, wait, what? Why is it liquid? Why does it separate? I wonder why. But no, I wasn't really good at chemistry. Do you know moomins? And of course we do. Wait, where's my moomin planner? Excuse me? Of course we do. Look at my moo planner. I do not know how big it is. Obviously, I don't think it's as big. Well, nowhere moomins are as big as in Finland. But I think a lot of young people know them. I read the books when I was a kid. So what that means is that the stories were definitely translated in the Soviet Union. So, yeah. The cartoons I don't remember, unfortunately. But yeah, I read the books when I was a kid, so I think... And also recently there's been so much moomin merch, I think, everywhere globally, so that people know it. Japan adores moomin, of course, as we all know. A byproduct, right, exactly. That's a good word that I have forgotten. What's your favorite moomin character? Oh, probably Moo. Honestly, recently it's been Moo. I think, yeah. I'm pretty sure we had a different, but okay, let me think. Well, Snufkin, yeah, Snufkin also. I cannot do that to him. I love him too. Yeah, yay, we have something in common. With Finland. Who is your favorite characters? Let me know. Let me know, you guys. Oh wow, curds are very important for good. I haven't tried it. Should I? Maybe I will eventually. One day. It sounds good. Our dad uses cooking to teach us chemistry. Well, this is neat. This could be fun, huh? Oh, this is your sign. Right, this is your sign. If you bought cottage cheese yesterday, you might have to experiment. 100%. I think it's one of those situations where you're seeing something on TikTok and you're like, yeah, this could be a sign. Only most of the times these people pretend like it's a sign, like the tarot readers. This is your sign. Nuh-uh. But this could be the, I don't know at this point, 15-minute monologue about a cottage cheese. And sirniki. Yep, that's definitely a sign. RFK Jr. Oh, not that person. Followers are learning about pasteurization benefits the heart. I don't know what to do about these people, honestly. It's just the moment, whenever we talk about this stuff, when I try to explain, especially to my parents who were both born in the Soviet Union, that there's this group of Americans who, a lot of whom, RFK Jr. followers, who believe that, you have to drink raw milk and stuff. They immediately went all the way back in their memories to the Soviet times when there were these gigantic placards everywhere that you have to boil your milk for hours because otherwise you will die. But unfortunately some people have to learn the hard way, I'm afraid. It sucks, especially for their children. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to do about that. And there's also so much aggression when you try to explain these things to them. It's insane. So yeah, maybe it's not worth it. Wait, let me see. Moomins are big. Yeah, they're huge in Japan. Huge. They love them so much. I mean, they love everything cute, obviously, all the cute characters in the world. But yeah, Moomins have very special place. And also that brand that you guys have, the Marimekko brand, also huge. They even had a collab with Uniqlo, which is the Japanese clothing brand. So that means something. Yeah, they do love everything. They do love everything from Finland. Moo is the best. She is, isn't she? Everyone else knows Moomins except Americans who think Moomins are racist. I'm sorry. What? What did they do? Wait, is this that story about the character that they banned from a museum in New York or something? Because he's black? Or no, I do not have enough mental energy for that. We cannot do that, everybody. Well, yeah, I think we do know your favorite. My dad refused to let us use chemistry for anything. Oh my god. Really? Well, I'm really happy about that. I recently... Wait, when did I get it? I think I got it not so long ago. I think this spring. And it's so nice. It also has all these cute illustrations. Let me show you some before I go. Now that we're talking about the Moomins. Look at them. Cute. And swimming in the lake. I don't know if you can see it on YouTube. Hopefully you can. It's so nice. I got it in Poland, so it's all in Polish. And there are all these Polish holidays. Like the Warsaw Uprising, Remembrance Day and stuff like this. Which is, I like this stuff because, you learn about other cultures, you learn about other people's holidays and stuff. Wait, where are all the illustrations? I'm gonna show you a couple more. While we're on the topic of Moo. Look at her. Look at her in the lake. How nice is that? This is who I aspire to be in life. Incredible. Incredible stuff, you guys. Alright. Okay, everybody. I think on this one... Oh, Sammy loves Moomin books, too. We have a lot of Moomin lovers. Suzanne has a Moomin towel. We have quite a few Moomin appreciators in the chat. RFK Jr. is the contrast, everybody. RFK Jr. is bankrolled by millionaires and the anti-vaxxer thing is, that's also next level, insufferable and stupid, and also something that he has in common with the Russians, because remember, right, how much of the Russian disinformation has been specifically targeted at these people and spreading all of this disinformation around. Oh God. Yeah, I don't like that guy at all. It's all Newman to me, says Chart. You should check them out. They're adorable. Right, and as Laura says, every Finn's childhood, and also, a huge worldwide global phenomenon. So, jump into the Moomin wave. All right, everybody. Okay, thank you so much. Yay, we're at 70,000 likes. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much. But I think we will be wrapping it up, because otherwise I will forget even more words, and this will be very embarrassing for me. Let's just take one last look at the air raid alert chart. Okay, it disappeared. This usually happens. So what you're seeing right now, the air raid alert map quietly sort of dying down, this means there was a missile that was probably intercepted, hopefully. And this is why it all went hush hush in one instance. Okay, I really hope it was intercepted. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me ranting. Thank you for stopping by. So I'm planning the next one for Monday, but you could always check out my Instagram story for the notification before the actual live stream, or you could go on YouTube and hit the bell and hopefully get some notifications too. This is, I think, currently the most trustworthy system that we have had. But thank you everyone. Thank you for being here. I will see you all. Thank you. I will see you all on Monday. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you later. Alligators. Okay. Mwah. Bye-bye, everyone. Okay. Okay, now to you guys. So the map has thankfully been better than before, so that's, I don't know, hopefully it will stay this way. You never know these days, you never know with this neighbor of ours, but hopefully it will. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here, thank you guys. Roshkin and Vindictus, Ruenslava, Carolyn, thank you, Direwolf, and thank you, Thomas. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. Mwah. Bye-bye.